Picture a map of the Middle East. You've seen it 1,000 times. You know what it looks like. A region defined by conflict, oil, and borders drawn by foreign powers over a century ago. But there's something on that map most people haven't noticed yet. A line, a route, a corridor that, if it gets built, could rearrange every power relationship in the region and send ripple effects all the way to your grocery bill, your energy costs, and the global economy you depend on every single day. Almost nobody outside a few government offices and trading desks is talking about it. That changes right now. In September 2023, on the sidelines of the G20 summit in New Delhi, something unusual happened. The United States, India, Saudi Arabia, the UAE, Jordan, Israel, and the European Union jointly announced a new economic corridor. They called it the IMEC, the India, Middle East, Europe Economic Corridor. The announcement was treated as a diplomatic footnote in most Western news cycles. A few headlines, a few op-eds, then silence. But underneath that silence, something significant was being set in motion. Because IMEC isn't just an infrastructure deal. It's a direct challenge to the most ambitious geopolitical project of the 21st century, China's Belt and Road Initiative. And the Middle East is the battlefield where that challenge is now playing out. Here's what you need to understand first. Trade routes are power, always have been. Whoever controls the route controls the flow of goods, the flow of energy, and ultimately the flow of money. The Silk Road didn't just move silk, it moved civilizations. The British Empire wasn't built on ideology, it was built on choke points. The Suez Canal wasn't just a shortcut, it was the reason empires rose and fell. Today, the world's critical trade routes are being contested again. And the IMEC corridor is one of the most audacious attempts to redraw that map in decades. So what exactly is it? The corridor is designed as a two-part route. The first leg runs by sea, from India's ports on its western coast across the Arabian Sea to the UAE, specifically to the port of Fujairah. The second leg goes overland, rail and road networks cutting north through Saudi Arabia and Jordan, eventually arriving in Israel's port of Haifa on the Mediterranean Sea. From Haifa, goods would cross into Europe by sea. Think about what that means for a moment. A container of goods manufactured in India, electronics, textiles, pharmaceuticals, could travel from Mumbai to Rotterdam in roughly 40% less time than it takes today, according to projections cited by the White House in its announcement of the deal. That's not a minor efficiency gain. That's a fundamental restructuring of global supply chains. Right now, most goods moving between India and Europe travel one of two ways. Either through the Suez Canal, a choke point that has proven dangerously fragile, as the world discovered when the Ever Given container ship blocked it in 2021 for nearly a week and froze over $9 billion in daily trade. Or around the Cape of Good Hope, the southern tip of Africa, which adds weeks and thousands of miles to the journey. IMEC offers a third path, a path that bypasses the Suez entirely, a path that runs through countries that, until very recently, didn't even formally recognize each other's existence. That last part is the part that doesn't get talked about enough. The Abraham Accords, signed in 2020 under the Trump administration, normalized diplomatic relations between Israel and several Arab states, the UAE, Bahrain, Sudan, and Morocco. Saudi Arabia was widely expected to be next. The IMEC corridor was in many ways a direct economic extension of that normalization framework, an attempt to lock in economic interdependence between Israel and its Arab neighbors before the political winds could shift. The October 7th Hamas attacks and the subsequent war in Gaza have complicated that calculation enormously. Saudi Arabia froze its normalization talks with Israel. The diplomatic architecture IMEC depended on was suddenly shaky. But here's the thing, infrastructure doesn't wait for politics to catch up. The physical investments, the port upgrades, the rail feasibility studies, the energy pipeline planning, these were already in motion. And the strategic logic behind IMEC didn't disappear when the war started. If anything, it intensified. Because the real driver of IMEC isn't just trade efficiency, it's China. The Belt and Road Initiative, launched by Xi Jinping in 2013, has poured hundreds of billions of dollars into ports, railways, and highways across Asia, Africa, and the Middle East. According to the Boston University Global Development Policy Center, China has committed over $800 billion in overseas development finance since 2000, with a significant portion flowing into infrastructure that gives Chinese state-owned companies leverage over critical nodes of global trade. The port of Gwadar in Pakistan, the port of Hambantota in Sri Lanka, which the Sri Lankan government handed over to China on a 99-year lease in 2017 after it couldn't repay its debt. Port infrastructure in Kenya, Djibouti, and Greece. China has been systematically acquiring influence over the arteries of global commerce. IMEC is the West's countermove, but it's more than that. It's also a message to the countries of the Gulf. The United States and Europe are saying, you don't have to choose between Beijing and Washington. There is a third option, and we're willing to put money and political capital behind it. For Saudi Arabia, the calculation is complex. The kingdom has been deepening its economic ties with China. China is now Saudi Arabia's largest trading partner. But Saudi Vision 2030, Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman's blueprint for diversifying the Saudi economy beyond oil, requires Western technology, Western investment, and Western diplomatic cover. IMEC is partly a sweetener, a signal that deeper integration with the US-led economic order comes with tangible infrastructure benefits. For India, the stakes are even more direct. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi has positioned his country as the alternative to China's manufacturing dominance. The democracy with a massive workforce, a growing middle class, and ambitions to become the world's factory floor. But ambition doesn't move goods. Infrastructure does. IMEC would give India a faster, more reliable route to European markets, reducing its dependence on sea lanes that pass through waters where Chinese naval influence is growing. For Europe, it's about supply chain resilience. The COVID-19 pandemic exposed how dangerously concentrated global supply chains had become. The war in Ukraine showed how a single geopolitical shock could send energy prices soaring and inflation spiraling through Western economies. Your energy bill in 2022 didn't happen in a vacuum. European policymakers are desperate to diversify. IMEC fits directly into the EU's Global Gateway Initiative, its own infrastructure investment program designed explicitly to compete with China's Belt and Road. And then there's the energy dimension. The IMEC corridor isn't just planned for goods. The route also envisions undersea cables for electricity, hydrogen pipelines, and data infrastructure. The UAE and Saudi Arabia are betting heavily on green hydrogen as a future export, producing it using solar energy in the desert and shipping it to energy-hungry European markets. IMEC could be the pipeline that makes that possible. A 2023 report by the Atlantic Council called IMEC the most consequential infrastructure project the region has seen in a generation, and noted that, if fully realized, it could reduce shipping times between India and Europe to as little as 10 days, transforming the economics of trade across 3 continents, 10 days, compared to 30 or more today. That's not just a logistics story. That's a story about which country gets to manufacture your next phone, which country gets to sell your continent its energy, which country gets to sit at the center of the global economy in 2040 and 2050. The obstacles are real. The Gaza conflict has complicated diplomacy. Financing is still being assembled. Rail networks need to be built through difficult terrain. And China isn't sitting still. It continues to deepen its presence in every port and corridor that IMEC is designed to bypass. But here's what's already changed. The fact that the United States, India, the Gulf states, Israel, and Europe sat in the same room in New Delhi and agreed to put their names on this project. That moment already happened. You can't unring that bell. The strategic logic is out in the open. The Middle East is no longer just a source of oil. It's becoming the central node of a new global trade architecture. And the countries fighting to control that node are betting trillions of dollars on what the future looks like. So the next time you look at a map of the Middle East and see a region defined by conflict and oil, look again. There's a line being drawn. And the world you buy things in, the prices you pay, the energy that heats your home, they're all going to be shaped by whether that line gets built. The Middle East's future is being rewritten, and this corridor is the pen.